What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Kosher Nostra, back at you guys with another sneaker review, unboxing, and the on-feet look with the sock combo to match, guys. No delay, let's jump right into it. Alright guys, this is the third of these that I have picked up, although I want to say they've dropped about 5 of these. I still got to get that New York versus New York colorway. Those are bananas, haven't seen those in stores anywhere around here. And they haven't dropped that sort of Eclipse colorway. They just dropped the white version. They haven't dropped the dark version yet, or at least here, the stores haven't put them out yet, or they haven't got them. But guys, another one of these Kyrie Low 3s in a size 11, retailing for $120 US. The colorway on this bad boy is Sesame / Mystic Navy and Sail. Let's check these out, guys. Alright gang, there they are in hand, the Nike Kyrie Low 3 in the Shashiko colorway, guys. These are pretty dope, definitely a little bit different, a little bit of a subtle colorway, right fam? Probably be a pretty hard shoe in the spring or the summer. That Sesame upper is sort of unique. I don't know if the lights are really hitting it right and the camera's really capturing it well, guys. But guys, I will say these things are definitely growing on me. I like what they've done with this sort of Shashiko 1-2 pack. With this and the S2 Kybrids that dropped, they're kind of almost like an inverse of one another if you really look at them in hand for long enough. Now, the name of the colorway is Shashiko, which is Japanese for little stabs, I believe is what I read. And what it's referring to is this sort of stitching technique that we see used basically on the swooshes on this shoe. They really didn't go too much more ham on this colorway. It's really just the swoosh on the medial and the lateral side of the shoe, whereas on that Kybrid S2 colorway, they were a little bit busier with the actual midfoot strap and some of the back portions of the shoe as well. Now, originally the Shashiko stitching technique was not used so much decoratively as it was really used more functionally, as maybe you would have like a torn pair of pants or something like that, and they would stitch some more kind of reinforced material over there, and they would kind of use that Shashiko stitching pattern, not only to give that article of clothes a little bit more integrity, but I guess to kind of dress it and fancy it up a little bit at the same time. Nowadays, guys, whenever you see it, of course, when you see it from Nike, they're not rebuilding shoes with the Shashiko stitching technique, guys. They're using it 100% decoratively. As you can see, guys, Nike's always kind of trying to think outside the box and do some different things with some of the ways that they decorate and illustrate the swooshes on their shoes. I like these, however, it's very, very subtle on these, especially on the lateral side of the shoe, which is really what you're going to see the most of. The stitching is extremely thin, right? It's back here on this really kind of dope, kind of hairy suede portion of the shoe. I really am a big fan of the hits of kind of hairy suede that they used all on the back portion of the shoe. I will say that if you look at the low 2s compared to the low 3s, they've really gone with a lot better materials on these low 3s so far to really distinguish the 3s from the 2s, whereas with the 2s, they pretty much went with the same materials time after time after time. On these guys, we've already been treated to some pretty dope hits of leather, such as on that Harmony colorway, and now some pretty nice hits of that hairy suede on this particular Shashiko colorway. Well done, Nike. I really dig that. Now, most of the shoe is going to be that sort of light sesame kind of tan brown color, aside from the sock liner, the back of the tongue, and really the strap of the shoe and the outsole, right guys? The sock liner and outsole are going to be essentially all white. The midfoot strap on this shoe is going to be that sort of stone blue color, which I'm a pretty big fan of. I really dig that. If you're familiar with the Kyrie 6s, you'll definitely recognize this strap. However, they've streamlined it a little bit. They've sort of peeled it back a little bit. They've done away with some of the materials. The strap seems a lot more breathable, which has always been one main detraction from the Kyrie line, especially with the straps and the fly traps and all that stuff. The shoes generally aren't the most breathable shoes from Nike basketball, and you can see they've taken that into consideration as they've sort of done away with portions of the strap on this shoe. Of course, the strap on these low 3s is the main difference between these and the low 2s, as essentially the shoes are basically identical. The low 2s just featured that caging system, which the 3s went ahead and replaced with this midfoot strap, which, guys, in my opinion, seems like it might be lighter. I haven't thrown these things on a scale, but sort of the flimsiness and the lightness of the strap itself really lead me to believe that these things weigh less than the 2s. Another cool feature, when you pull the strap back, there is some more kind of white stitching on that Velcro portion of the shoe, which I think is a nice little touch. You don't really see it too much. However, on these shoes, you probably could get away with kind of rocking them unstrapped for a little bit. But again, guys, the strap is so flimsy, I feel like it's inevitable that it's just going to kind of flap in the wind as you take steps, and it's just going to throw itself back strapped. But another nice little touch right there with the white Shashiko stitchings underneath. A few more hits of blue as we see the kind of all-seeing eye triangle down on the first two lace holes right there. Some really bold, thick stitching as you see this little flap that they've added to the threes to kind of cover that top lace hole. We talked about it being on the strap itself. And then, guys, other than the tongue, the only other touches of blue are going to basically be on the stitches on the lateral side, where we have the extremely thinly stitched lines that comprise that swoosh. There's actually 6 of them. And then on the medial side, they went with a much bolder swoosh, which is something they tend not to do, right, guys? It's usually the medial side that gets the more faint or the smaller swoosh. However, on this colorway, on the medial side, that swoosh stands out a lot more, as the swoosh itself is blue, and then you've got this sort of cross zigzag white stitching all atop that. Kind of almost reminds me of like tinsel on a Christmas tree or something like that, guys. But I will say I like it. I definitely dig the design elements of that swoosh. I think it looks really cool. The actual tongue itself is also made out of that really cool kind of hairy suede that we touched on before. And on the right shoe, it features the Nike BB Kyrie Irving logo, which of course is a nod to the Nike SB logo. We also see it on the insole of both the right and the left shoe. The left shoe features the traditional Kyrie Irving logo on the tongue. But if you look at the SBs that dropped that had this Shashiko stitching to them, they kind of mirrored those colorways with these Kyries, which I think is cool. And I really dig the return of that Nike BB logo that they threw on the tongue. I want to say the first time we saw that was on that Day of the Dead Kyrie 4 PE. So this isn't the first time that we've seen those. I forgot to mention that in the S2 Kybrid video. It was definitely on the back of my mind, guys, and it did not come out my mouth, unfortunately. What do you guys think of these? Y'all sleeping on these? You don't like the colorway? You like the colorway? You think these things are unique, but you're not gonna pick them up? You think this is something that's gonna sit long enough to go on sale? It probably will, guys. These Kyries will probably be sitting on shelves for a hot minute, and they probably will go on sale eventually, because really, guys, unfortunately, people are just not buying hoop and shoes like that right now in mass numbers. So anticipate seeing these things go on sale eventually. Let's check these things out on feet, guys. Any comments, questions, concerns, throw them at me downstairs, guys. I'll try to address those as quick as possible. Y'all know what to do. Comment, like, subscribe. Thank you guys for rocking with me in my videos, supporting me. Can't express that to you guys enough. Much love, stay blessed, stay safe, fam. Peace.